Good morning, I'm Sonia, or La Femme Artour. Welcome to this week's segment of What I Ate Wednesday. It is Wednesday, March 29th, and Justice and I are in week number 13 of our challenge to put in 1,000 foot miles across all 50 states in 2017. I had a totally different plan for today. I was going to show you how I use my new French press to make coffee out at camp, use the hot water that I've boiled to make some great oatmeal with some peanut butter in it, and we had a nice storm blow through camp last night at about 1 a.m. and I just didn't feel like dealing with all the mud and the puddles. So instead of making coffee at camp, I skedaddled to the closest McCafe. So I'm going to have my first couple of cups of coffee here, get a little bit of work done. But before I go inside, it is like 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm hungry, so I'm going to have a bite to eat. So this is my quick breakfast before I run inside for coffee. This is Nature Valley granola protein, oats and dark chocolate with 10 grams of protein. I specifically chose this particular granola because I needed to beef up my protein intake. Not to be deceived, this is not a super healthy food. Here's the nutritional facts. There are 6 grams of fat, there are 30 grams of carbs, and 13 grams of sugar. So I certainly wouldn't have this on a daily basis, but something like today, a quick bite, nice amount of protein. At least if you're gonna grow granola, make sure that it's got a decent amount of protein in it for you. And you know, that dark chocolate. That'll be great with the coffee as a chaser. Hello again. Justice and I are in the beautiful Ladybird Park in downtown Austin. Should be a lovely way to log in our miles this afternoon. Before we hit the trail, I am very hungry, having had just a little breakfast. So gonna have a snack, nothing too heavy before we put in our miles today. Little frustrated, spent a good hour at McCafe constructing my next email and tried to save it as a draft, and I got some kind of privacy error and my entire hour's work was lost. This is the second time in the last 2 weeks that I have constructed an email to send out to my friends and family and had all of my work lost. So I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, but I'm not hearing it. I'm really frustrated. I really need to communicate. Also, Justice has not been eating for the last 3 days. Today is day number 4. I've been buying this really expensive food that's human grade, dehydrated, great for the road, and supposed to be great for her, and she's been loving it so far, but I had to buy a new box of it, and this batch she doesn't want to eat. So I don't know if there's something wrong with it. So I need to get to the store today and try to get something else and see if she'll start eating again. But I can't be too vigorous in the mileage that we're putting in right now because Justice hasn't been eating. Just some challenges I'm working through. So this is what's left over from what Justice did not eat on Wednesday. That's like half of her breakfast portion that she's just barely even nibbled on. This is my snack. This is what they call Texas Hold'em trail mix. It's mixed nuts with currants. I've got a beautiful grapefruit there and some lemon water. And when I finish that water, I'll actually eat the flesh out of that lemon. It's got great fiber. And I'm gonna do a double portion of that trail mix. So instead of a quarter cup, I'm doing a half a cup. It'll put me just over 400 calories, and that should be great for us hitting the trails. Have something a little heartier for lunch, I hope. And that's what I ate for snack on Wednesday. So this is a little disturbing to me. I opened up a can of beef stew like cheap dollar store beef stew that somebody gave me, and Justice is devouring it. So that is some awful stuff that she is actually eating, when the high quality expensive stuff she won't touch. I'm really suspecting there's something wrong with that food. I'm gonna have to get to the bottom of this. So I just showed you the accident that's got me at a standstill right now. I was headed back to camp. I'm hungry. I had not eaten yet. And when I was assessing what I had in my car, I made a quick stop to supplement what I had. It's 86 degrees out, so I had to find a grocery store with shade so that I could leave Justice very briefly, dive inside, get some water and a couple of things for dinner. It's just one of the challenges of being on this trip. I've been at camp for 3 days, so I've pretty much eaten through most of my fresh supplies. What I had left, I was trying to get a trip into Austin today. I needed to log in a good 5 miles along the river. So I had to eat quick, and I had to make do with what I had. And I was gonna stop and maybe have dinner someplace this evening, but I'm also on a budget. So, and now I'm hungry and I'm stuck in traffic, and I've still got another 45 minutes back to camp. And Pop's gonna be upset thinking I'm not eating enough again. But this is, I was gonna say it's not typical, but it's typical. You gotta be flexible and go with the flow. So I am finally back at camp and ready to make dinner quickly because I'm hungry. Let me show you what I've got. So in my opinion, 5-star meal going on here. I'm gonna have a sandwich. I picked up this smoked turkey breast. I'll have probably half of that, maybe a third of that. This is going to do double duty tomorrow in the salad that I made, and that's going to be about as long as this will last in the 85-degree weather, even with the small cooler. So half of that turkey breast. I'm going to use my Ezekiel bread 7 sprouted grains, and I'm going to do some candied jalapeno pepper rings on that. Got just a few of those left, and I think that's going to be just delightful. And then my side is going to be about a third of this broccoli slaw. That's what I've got left after the last couple of days. Gonna slice up red onion into that. So I've got my knife, and yes, I travel with a steel. Gotta have sharp, good knives. That's the cutting board I picked up in Asheville. And then into this slaw, I'm going to have some green olives. And instead of mayonnaise, I'm going to use Emerald's kicked up horseradish. And then the last little bit of my lava salt is going to go into my slaw. So sandwich and slaw. And then I've got some Texas spring water. I'll make my lemon water for tomorrow, get that steeping overnight. And this should be a fabulously satisfying meal for my hungry belly. Well, I ended the day at about 1,200 calories, just shy of 1,200 calories, which actually is not enough to maintain my body weight and my fitness level, especially since I put in about 5 miles on foot today. So I'm shooting for closer to 1,500 calories, And I'm shy because I didn't have a snack, which I usually have. And poor planning. Poor planning. And I just kind of let the schedule of the day get away with me instead of stopping and taking the time to take care of myself. But I realized what I had done in the evening, and I course corrected. Made sure that I went to the grocery store, picked up a couple of things, so I was good for dinner tonight, good for lunch and dinner tomorrow, and maybe I'll have a cup of hot cocoa just to close out the night. Give myself a little more indulgent calories. And that's what I ate Wednesday.